Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome in if this is your first time being here. My name is Melissa. You're here at the Tarot by Melissa YouTube channel, and today's video is going to be looking into the question, what karmic lesson are you learning at this time? So this reading is part of a self-development series that we've been doing here on the channel, all inspired by some of the outer planets. And today we are taking inspiration from the planet Saturn. So for any of you that are not super familiar with some of the symbolism of the planet Saturn and what it can represent, Saturn is a planet that can kind of cause us to feel a little bit restricted in a certain area. Some would even say that it causes you to feel challenges or difficulties. But the cool thing about Saturn is that it almost embodies this energy of a father, right? It's coming around and it's requesting that you get more responsible in a certain area of life. And if you're able to learn the lesson, as we're talking about today, and understand how Saturn is asking you to elevate yourself and be more responsible, then it can also provide blessings, right? It's kind of coming in to teach you a lesson to help you to up level in a certain area of your life. Now, this is not an astrology reading. We are just taking inspiration from the themes of Saturn and applying it to this pick a card reading. If you guys are interested, I would always recommend getting a natal chart reading by a trusted astrologer so that you can more understand or better understand how Saturn uniquely impacts you based off of the energies in your chart. All right. So getting into a couple of our other disclaimers, please do keep in mind, guys, that this is a general reading. So if the messages feel confusing or if they don't feel that they fit your situation, just respect that those messages were for someone else. Don't try to force something to fit. Remember, these collective readings are tapping into the energies of the collective. So even though you're selecting a specific pile, it doesn't mean that it's a personal reading. So as I always say, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. If you guys did want to book a personal reading, all the details on how you can book one with me will be linked in the description box down below. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to get into our pile selection. If you are drawn to pile 1, we're working with this Lapis Lazuli heart. If you're drawn to pile number 2, we'll be working with this pink Tourmaline palm. And if you're drawn to pile 3, we'll be working with this tiger's eye sphere. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath. Think about what karmic lesson you are learning right now and why. Go ahead and select the crystal or card that you're feeling the most intuitively connected to. And once you've made your choice, you can scroll down to the description box below to locate the timestamp that will take you to your selected reading. See you there. Hey pile 1, if you guys were drawn to this blue Lapis Lazuli heart, this is going to be your reading. So today we're looking into what karmic lesson you're learning inspired by the planet Saturn. And as I was saying in the intro, you guys, even though the energy of Saturn can feel difficult, the point is that it's helping you to level up in some capacity. It's like that dad energy that's coming in and saying, this is where I need you to be more responsible and get your you-know-what together so that you can reap rewards going forward. So starting off with the overall energy for pile 1, you guys have the 7th house of relationships. So already this is like definitely something to do with a relationship of significance or just relationships in general. We have an angel of love in reverse. And then we have the 7th chakra in reverse as well. Okay, so we're going to start here and then I'll build on with some more cards here as we go. But yeah, so your lesson that you're learning right now, pile 1, has to do with relationships. Now, the 7th house in particular can talk about our like legal types of relationships. So think of like marriages, serious committed relationships. This can even be talking about business partnerships as well. So take whatever one of those themes kind of resonates the most for you. But this definitely would be highlighting committed relationships to other people and partnerships. With the angel of love being here in reverse, I do feel that for a majority of my viewers for pile 1, this has to do with romantic relationships, people that you are in long-term romantic committed connections with over time. And what I'm seeing here with this angel of love in reverse is that there's some sort of a blockage here around and with the 7th chakra, which is our crown chakra, this is our connection to spirit. So there's a blockage here to your intuition when it comes to romantic relationships or just partnerships in general. I think with this Lapis Lazuli heart that you all selected, there also could be some lessons here around communicating in relationships. So the Angel of Love in reverse, it's talking about being disconnected from your heart space. And this could be a situation for some of you guys where maybe you all have recently gone through a separation or recently gone through a big breakup or divorce in some capacity. This card can also talk about when we're connecting with a person on a more superficial level versus a deeper level or on a spiritual level. This can also come up if somebody is staying stuck or connected energetically to an old partner. You know, like you're still longing for somebody from the past. So lots of different themes that this card can talk about. But it's being highlighted because you guys at this time are being asked to free up your heart space from whatever one of those themes is blocking you at this time or that you are connected to at this time. This card talks about a need to love and value yourself first and to expect tender, loving treatment coming to you from your partner. And I think with the 7th chakra being here, some of you guys like have been in a relationship or been in relationships in general where you have not trusted your intuition, right? You have overlooked the signs. And maybe it's just a self-worth thing where you felt that, you know, you didn't deserve on an energetic level. So let's see. Pile 1. Tell us more, please, Spirit, about this karmic lesson that pile 1 is moving through. We have the Justice card. Yeah, so this definitely could have to do with legal matters for a lot of you guys. We are talking about karma, so justice can also represent that as well, if it's more spiritual for you, the way you're taking the reading anyway. And then we also have the Death card. Wow. Yeah, so I think part of this, with the 7 of Wands at the bottom of the deck, and you guys selecting this Lapis Lazuli crystal, I definitely feel like a big part of your lesson has to do with being able to stand your ground and advocate for yourself and express how you authentically feel. Because the 7 of Wands talks about like standing up for yourself, standing your ground, okay? Or feeling like we have something we need to prove. That could be part of maybe why there's this lesson here. Maybe some of you guys stayed in a connection long past its expiration date because you felt like you had something to prove. Or maybe there was something about the connection that was really like in the spotlight. You know, like you stood out as a couple with this person, and so you felt like, okay, we have to make this work. The other thing, though, that I'm feeling with this card being at the bottom of the deck is that I feel like you, my viewers, there's an undertone here of not allowing your light to shine, if that makes sense. Like something about this partnership that's being highlighted, this past relationship or just this pattern that you guys have been working through in relationships, there's something about you needing to be allowed to shine in the connection. And I feel with the Angel of Love in reverse that maybe you guys have dealt with situations where you just felt like you didn't deserve to shine, or you were made to feel like you don't matter, or that you're not a priority, or something along those lines. So yeah, I think like right now you're learning this lesson because with the Death card, there's something here that needs to die off, right? There's a need to kind of let this situation go, let this person go, let this energy go. There could be legal matters as well that some of you guys are still moving through. Again, I'm getting for a lot of you guys with the 7th house that this was like a previous marriage or something where there was like a really high level of official commitment here. So what is this lesson? I do think with the Justice card coming up, there is a need for you guys to look at the situation from a very objective, impartial lens, right? So kind of taking the emotion out of it, zooming the lens out a little bit, I think will allow you to see the bigger picture here. And it will allow you to see the best path forward I'm hearing for this group, like what I'm getting is if you're having a hard time releasing an old connection, what I'm feeling is that you need to think about like what you would say to a friend if they were in the same situation. What advice would you give to a friend? Because you're going to look at it a little bit more objectively or neutrally if you're not the one that's emotionally invested in it. You know what I mean? But with the Death card, this is really promising to see, because what this is telling me is that you guys have been working through this, right? I don't feel like this is something that this pile is not already at least somewhat aware of. The Death card is saying that like this is all part of an inevitable change, all part of an inevitable transformation that you guys are moving through as it pertains to relationships, okay? And this is also echoing like the need to detach from the old, right? We can see we have this bird that has already died off, right? And it's just kind of slowly fading into the earth. But the beauty about that is, like, metaphorically speaking, from that earth can spout new life, right? And that's what this is about. It's about releasing the past so that you all can start to cultivate a new path forward for yourself. Okay. But the Death card is tough sometimes, you guys. I mean, it does talk about like really slow, inevitable changes. And maybe for a lot of you guys, if this is talking about a specific relationship, you've already known that this is coming, right? Doesn't always make it easy, you know? So let's see. What else does pile 1 need to know about this karmic lesson? We have bronze, strengthen your body. We have gold, attract abundance. So kind of like these metallic sort of vibes here. This card is really reminding me of this card right here with the 7 of Wands. I feel like Spirit is saying, keep going. Keep shining your light really bright. Keep standing up for what you believe. Keep standing your ground. Your light is what repels any negativity, right? It's like I'm seeing here all of these wands surrounding this one wand here in the center, and you can see that the light is just repelling them away, right? Anything negative being repelled away just through standing their ground, just through being themselves. I feel like you all letting this go is really inviting in a period of abundance for you right now. There's also something here about your physical well-being, strengthen your body. So there could be a connection here for some of you to like your health, your wellness, working out. I think sometimes too, like when we're in these types of connections that really drain us of our life force energy, some of the other parts of life can go by the wayside, right? Like because we're so wrapped up in what's going on, it seems like there's been something with your routine or your physical fitness that maybe has gone by the wayside due to this lesson that you've been learning. So I feel like right now Spirit is saying start focusing more on yourself, starting with like your solid foundations in life. Something about your physical body is what they're asking you to focus on. And maybe it's like going to the gym, but I also see this metaphorically tying in with the 7 of Wands here too, right? It's like strengthening your aura all around, right? Your energy, your fitness, your self-esteem, all the things. All right. Let's see what else we got for pile number 1. Just a couple more and then we'll close it with some dice for you. So what's the lesson that pile 1 is learning at this time? What is this karmic lesson about? We have time. Divine timing is in the works. This eternal clock creates the perfect timing for each individual season. That's kind of what I was getting with the Death card, you guys. Like, this is an inevitable shift that's coming in for you. And I feel like if you guys are worried about like this situation, or if you're worried about just your love life in general, like when is love coming to me? Spirit is saying it's happening in divine timing, but it seems like right now they're wanting you to focus more on yourself, wrapping up, closing the loop on any old ties to this situation and releasing it out of your energy field, starting to focus more on pouring into you first. I feel like it's saying, like, start with something you can control, like your physical fitness or something along those lines. And then we have ka-ching, ka-ching. Something you've done or you're working on will generate income. So there's also like a really promising message here about like your financial stability improving through the situation as well, right? You know, maybe if this is like a divorce situation, some of you all will be getting some sort of settlement money out of that. But there's something about this karmic lesson that you're working through that seems like it's also yielding financial results for you in a positive way, coming to you in divine timing. Okay, so let's just close it out with these dice. Pile 1. What else does pile 1 need to know about this karmic lesson? Oh, wow. So we have Saturn in the 5th house in Aries. Oops. So yeah, restrictions on dating for sure with the 5th house coming up here. Restrictions on romantic connection. It's asking you to be more responsible when you're dating going forward here, you guys. With Aries coming up here, the other thing that I'm kind of feeling with this body energy and then the angel of love, where we were talking about superficial bonds, I do kind of feel like there's a restriction on you guys or needing to be more responsible about some of these superficial connections that may come your way, right? Just because somebody looks really good, it doesn't mean that they're going to be the right partner for you, right? To me, it's talking about that surface level energy here as well. The other thing though that I'm getting is that right now with Aries being here, again, you're being asked to kind of think about yourself first. Maybe even thinking about like your hobbies, your passions, some other interests that you have, and really pouring into those things. Because the 5th house can also talk about hobbies, right? Passions that we have. So there could be a need to pour into those things as well during this time as you're continuing to pour into yourself. So this was a really interesting read, pile 1. Please comment below. Let me know how this resonates. Look at this. Also, you guys had the 7th house here at the bottom of the deck. That's crazy. I love the synchronicities. So let me know how it resonates. If you guys are not already, please do subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell so you'll be updated when I post the next reading. And if you're interested, I do have a YouTube membership. It's $4.99 a month. You get 2 bonus videos for members only, and the videos are voted on by members. So hope to see you there. Bye. Hey, pile 2. If you guys picked out the pink tourmaline palm stone, this will be your reading. So we are looking into what karmic lesson are you learning right now, inspired by the planet Saturn. And as I was mentioning in the intro, you guys, Saturn is kind of this planet that has that dad energy to it, where it's coming around to specific areas of life and asking you to be more responsible in a certain area because it's wanting you to level up, right? So even though the energy can feel really tough or really difficult, it's kind of there to teach you this lesson for a reason, if that makes sense. So we've got the 4th house coming up for you, which talks about home. We also have walking away. And then we have the healer of the ages here as well in reverse. Okay, so what is the lesson you guys are moving through right now? Pile 2. So this definitely has to do with your home or family situation. Home or family matters specifically here. And when I think of the 4th house and home, I definitely think of like comfort zones where we like to be comfortable. And I'm seeing there's something here about you guys walking away from or needing to walk away from a specific comfort zone of yours, your home or family situation. Because with the healer of the ages in reverse, there's a need here to focus on your own well-being at this time. I am getting that you guys could be in a really draining situation, or something about the home dynamics are feeling really draining to you at this time, and it's causing you to feel very out of whack, out of sorts, etc. So with walking away, it's kind of like there's a little bit of this fear of leaving behind what's comfortable. There's a fear of leaving behind the familiar. But the beauty of this is that the world is at your feet, right? There's kind of this recognition here that there could be better suited places or environments for you if you are willing to get out of the comfort zone and kind of leave behind this cushy, not saying everybody's situation here is cushy, but like in the card, she's got like this cushy, like luxurious golden gate that she's leaving. So it kind of leads us to believe that she's exiting a really comfortable, you know, maybe lavish or well cared for situation into the unknown. Okay, so this is kind of what the lesson is centered around for you. So let's continue. Pile 2. What else does pile 2 need to know about this karmic lesson that they're learning at this time? Pile 2. We have the Hanged Man. We have the Moon card. Wow. I definitely feel like this situation with the Moon card has felt really uncertain for you for a while. And I think that your intuition is telling you that something about it is off, or something about you feeling drained. Intuitively, I feel you guys know that it's about your comfort zone or this home family situation of significance, okay? I think also with the Moon card coming up, the lesson here is about being able to navigate ambiguity, right? Because there is this fear of leaving behind something that's been very comfortable to you. And the moon is uncomfortable because it's unknown, right? We can't see through the dark. We know intuitively we need to be moving in a new direction, but we're scared of the unknown. We're scared of the unfamiliar. You guys may also be in a situation where you don't have all the answers, right? Like you don't have all the information to make you feel more comfortable with moving forward. And so I think another part of this lesson for you has to do with navigating a gray area, managing ambiguity, and understanding that in life, in work, in relationships, like whatever it is for you that this is talking about, we're not always going to be given up front all of the details that we would like to have, right? And so we have to be able to make decisions based off of our intuition, or make decisions based off of what we do know. You know what I mean? So managing through the gray area is definitely part of this lesson. I think with the Hanged Man, you guys have been feeling stuck for a while. I think you've been feeling stuck for a while, but I do feel like there's a perspective shift that's either coming in for you very soon, or a perspective shift that you guys have already had. I also think that for a lot of you guys, removing yourself from the situation is actually going to be providing this perspective shift, right? The Hanged Man talks about the pause before we act, right? It comes right before the Death card, which talks about changes and transitions in life, right? Letting the old die off so that we can embrace the new. But before we make that change, we take a pause to kind of reflect, right? So it might be good for this group, right? Especially right now, if you're feeling anxious or uncertain, leaning back, detaching from the situation, and looking to see it from a different perspective could be supportive to you. I'm also kind of noticing, like, we have a nocturnal animal here, which is a bat, and we have this nighttime energy here of the moon, kind of like going off of this metaphor that we've been getting about like seeing through the dark, or feeling like we're in the dark about something. But this bat is a nocturnal animal and it can see in the dark, which is kind of making me feel like you guys intuitively already know what you're supposed to do or what direction you would like to go. Again, even if you don't have all of the facts, you're being nudged in a specific direction for a reason. Okay? So let's continue. Pile 2. What else do you guys need to know? What is this karmic lesson? For pile 2. Scarlet, attract success. Love this for you. Look, at the bottom of the deck, we have indigo, improve your vision. That's kind of like what we're talking about with the moon. It's like indigo has to do with the third eye, our intuition, being able to have clear sight, or insight, rather. I think that there's something about your current situation where you guys might feel held back as well, because we have this beautiful red, vibrant energy of wanting to be seen or wanting to expand, attracting success and abundance to you. There's something about your current circumstances where you guys are feeling really stuck with the Hanged Man energy. And that it kind of makes sense, right? When you're in a comfort zone, growth can sometimes be quite minimal, right? Because you're comfortable. As much as it sucks, we grow the most when we're challenged or when we move through a change, because we're flexing skills that are new and different, or we're learning skills or behaviors that are new and different, right? So there's a lesson here around your success. As it pertains to your home situation here. All right, so let's see. A couple more cards here for pile 2. Okay, we have get real. You saw it coming. Neutrality in the situation will lead you forward. We also have romance, a strong magnetic attraction beyond the friend zone, mystery, excitement, and sensuality. Interesting. Yeah. It's like with this card being here, you all already know. You guys already know, like, what this is, because I do feel that you all, whether you're trusting it or not, this group has a really strong intuition. Okay. So kind of like with the Hanged Man being here, neutrality in the situation will lead you forward. Leaning back, looking at it from a neutral perspective, I think is going to be what provides you with the clarity that you guys need. You guys also have a lot of Pisces energy here, I'm noticing, and we have Cancer energy here with the home and family. But Hanged Man, the moon, both of this it's like very Piscean in nature. So there could be also a lot of illusions around the situation. Potentially there could be some emotions getting in the way here, especially with the romance card. I'm getting that for some of you, there's been a sense of looking at this situation through rose-colored glasses and not really seeing the reality of it clearly for what it is, right? And this could be out of guilt, especially if this has to do with family, right? It could be out of guilt. It could be out of like loyalty, right? If this has to do with a family member or a living situation here, or even a romantic partnership. But I definitely think that there's something about the situation that is clouding your vision and keeping you stuck. Okay, like illusions or delulus here for some of you. A strong magnetic attraction beyond the friend zone, mystery, excitement, and sensuality. I think that there's also something about like attracting success in your love life that's connected to this karmic lesson. You know, even if you guys, like, this doesn't necessarily feel like it has to do with moving homes, but I could even see this being a situation where a lot of my viewers, maybe you guys have just been hanging out at home a lot or just hanging out in the same comfort zone for a long time and not getting the results anymore that you wish to see. There's something about this element of walking away that I think is helping you to attract new love as well. So let's go ahead and let's add these Astro Dice and see what other info you all need to know. All right, so we've got Aries, second house, and we have the sun. Yeah, so this is interesting. Second house has to do with our resources, right? Our finances, our tangible possessions. So it's kind of interesting that we have the fourth house here, because this could have to do with your financial situation or like what you own. Also has to do with your values, your self-worth as well. You know, so those themes are kind of tied into that second house. Sense of self, Sun and Aries, right? So Aries is talking about leadership. It's also talking about moving forward, taking action. The Sun, your life force energy, your sense of self tied into your value here. there's something about your situation that you're learning right now, pile 2, where it's draining you of your life force energy. All right. So the lesson here is about like taking action, moving away from things that are draining you of your life force energy, and moving into situations, putting energy into situations that align with your life force, who you are, and your values, and maybe that are better for your financial situation as well. So really interesting message, pile 2. Comment below. Let me know what's been going on with you and what aspect of life you feel this is referring to. If you guys are not already, please do subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you'll be updated when I post the next reading. Also, feel free to join YouTube memberships here on the channel. It's $4.99 a month. You get access to minimum of 2 exclusive members-only videos per month, all selected by members. All right, see you there. Bye. Hey, pile 3, if you guys were drawn to this tiger's eye sphere, this will be your reading. So we're looking into what karmic lesson are you learning at this time, inspired by the planet Saturn. And as I mentioned in the intro, you guys, Saturn is kind of like that dad energy planet where it comes around the chart and it's asking you to sort of level up in this area through holding you accountable, asking you to be more responsible. And the goal is not to like punish us, it's to help us to grow and to be better. So hence why we're looking into the lesson you're learning right now. So starting us off here for you, pile 3, we have the 8th house. We have action. And we have all tied up. Okay. So there's a situation here that I feel you all are really wanting to take more action on. There's a lot of energy that I think you all are trying to put into this situation, because with this card being here, I am sensing that there are some restrictions or the perception of being restricted in some capacity. Now, the 8th house talks about a lot of different themes, but it talks about like other people's resources or shared resources. It can talk about like debts. It can talk about like taxes. It can talk about inheritances, that type of thing with shared resources. But it can also talk about things like the occult. It can talk about things like sex, death, debts, loans, all this type of stuff, right? It can mean a lot of different things. So this could be, maybe there's one area that stands out to you guys that I just mentioned from that list. Maybe it's kind of layered in a couple of different things here, but it's centered around these themes of the 8th house. So with it all tied up, this card is really interesting because I think for some of you, there could be some legitimate restrictions here, like red tape or rules, regulations, something that you feel is keeping you kind of restricted from pushing forward as much as you would like. But for a lot of you, I think this all tied up is more mental. It's like your own mental blockages that are preventing you from forward movement here. But regardless, there's this desire to act. There's this desire to move forward. But the first thing that has to be done is remove some of these restrictions here, whatever they may be. And maybe that's what some of this is about for you, pile 3. It's about like you learning how to act on removing whatever these restrictions are. Okay, so let's continue. Pile 3. What is this karmic lesson for pile 3? What is pile 3 learning at this time? Ten of Cups in reverse. Three of Swords in reverse. Okay. You know, and then we have the Mother of Pentacles here at the bottom of the deck. So this definitely could have to do with a financial situation for some of you guys, or something to do with your resources. Something that's a really interesting synchronicity that I'm seeing in the cards. You have a lot of cards showing like bondage or being tied up. Okay, now for some of you that could have to do with the theme of sex. For others of you though, this could have to do with that mental blockage of feeling stuck, or, you know, physical limitations here. So with the Ten of Cups in reverse, I think that there's definitely a bit of disappointment that you guys have been experiencing around this area at this time. The Ten of Cups, though, kind of talks about themes of family, okay? And that long-term emotional fulfillment connected to our relationships with others, like our family that we build. So when it's here in reverse, there's some sort of disappointment in this area. And actually what I feel for a lot of you, I was really drawn to all of these intersecting threads here. I'm wondering if there's something about you guys detaching from family or disconnecting from family that's a part of your ability to move forward here. Like being wrapped up in whatever this is with family shared resources is part of what's making you feel stuck. Okay. And the Three of Swords in reverse here, look at all this bondage that we see here, these threads that are here. There is a sense of things getting better in your situation, healing from something, recovering from something here. I could definitely see for some of you this could have to do with an inheritance. Maybe like someone in the family has recently transitioned, which has caused heartbreak and pain. There could be something here around inheritance or the settling of an estate for some of you guys. Maybe it's a situation where you don't really have as much control as you wish that you would. It could be that other members of the family are more in control of it than you. But with the Three of Swords in reverse, it seems that things are starting to get better. Things are starting to be more optimistic with this. Or there's a need to shift your thinking. Because I think that fixating on the heartbreak or the sadness or the tough thoughts or the tough communication that's been exchanged is keeping you guys more stuck than you need to be. Okay, so let's continue. What is this karmic lesson pile 3 is learning, Spirit? Tell us more. Coral. Allow flow and synchronicity into your life. I think that part of this is you guys learning to sort of just go with the flow a little bit more. Because I kind of feel that you guys may wish that you had more control than you actually do. There's definitely something here that is restricting you. And it's like there's this energy pent up of you wanting to act and wanting to move and wanting it to go forward. But for whatever reason, you're finding yourselves blocked or not able to do so. So I do kind of sense that there's a little bit of a control issue here for some of you guys. And with the coral, yeah, it's asking you to relinquish control a little bit. Allow things to just kind of flow for a bit here. For some of you guys with the coral, there also may be a need to have a little bit more fun. Because it kind of seems like whatever this lesson is, I feel like it's impacted your relationships with your family for a lot of you guys. There's like family disappointments that are here for you. Let's continue. And so being able to focus in on letting things flow versus feeling like you need to be the aggressor or the one that's in control, I think would improve things. But also potentially like reconnecting with family in an old fun way could also support you better in this time, okay? So let's see what else for pile 3. We have guidance. Yeah, listen more, speak less. Interesting. We have maturity. Yeah. Yeah, this is so interesting, you guys. It's definitely connected to something with your family and some sort of shared resources or just other people are coming through in this energy. So listen more, speak less. I kind of feel with the Three of Swords in reverse that there could have been some tough words exchanged. Maybe you guys said something that was really tough, or someone said something really harsh to you. There's some sort of harsh truths that have been expressed. And I think that it's caused a breakdown here for you. So listening more, speaking less. You know, communication is not just about getting your own point across. It's also about listening with the intent to understand someone else, not listening to respond, right? So listening more is going to help you to have a deeper understanding of the situation here. And I love this card. It says it's not about winning or losing. Go after what makes you the bigger person in the situation, right? So again, relinquishing that need to control, relinquishing any need for it to go a certain way, realizing that maybe in this situation you don't have all the power, right? And so I feel it's just going to be easier for you all. This is what you're learning, is that it's easier to just be the bigger person and not focus on being right, even if you know whoever you're dealing with is wrong as hell, you know? It's like letting that stuff go. So let's see. We're going to close out with some Astro Dice for you, pile 3. First house, Leo and Mercury. Yeah, I think that like part of this lesson is you guys definitely like focusing on communication here. First house is talking about your inner self and your outward expression of that inner self. And with Leo energy being here, I do feel like this group, for some of you, are natural born leaders that are used to being in charge. Okay. For others of you, though, I think that this is about learning to shift into that leadership energy and advocate for yourself more. But I feel like it's the first for the majority of you, because I am getting like this energy of you guys like having to relinquish some sort of control to another person or another party here. But Leo also talks about your inner strength and your ability to be confident. So it's like your self-confidence is also being tested during this time as well. And your ability to communicate confidently is also being tested during this time and exposed during this time. Leo energy is leadership energy, right? And being a good leader or setting a good example does not always have to come with you being the one that has all the answers either, right? Again, you're being guided to listen more, speak less, and be mature in the situation, right? You can stand out in this situation really positively by being flexible, I feel. So this is interesting, pile 3. Let me know what you feel like this is talking about in your life. I would love to hear from you around how this resonates. If you're not already, please do subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell so you'll be updated when I post the next reading. And do consider joining the memberships on the channel. It's $4.99 a month. You get access to 2 bonus uploads a month that are all selected by members. See you there.